Hey everyone, welcome back. And if you hear guys working outside with leaf blowers, no you didn't. Today I'm going to be doing a part 2 to my Real Housewives of Orange County video recap that I did the other day. I did the little sneak peek video the other day that I had to clip out a bunch of stuff. And I'm not going to be using the rest of the episode, even though it is on YouTube, but just because I know it's just going to end up getting claimed, so we're skipping all of that. But here is basically part 2 to the recap of the first episode of season 18 of Real Housewives of Orange County. So I have all of my notes there, so we're going to go down everything that I thought at least was important to the storyline. Last night I finished the last season of Orange County. I didn't finish it back when it was airing because I honestly got bored with it, and once again it was really boring. I understand now why I stopped watching, because it was pretty uninteresting. I felt all the fights were really dumb, and especially now seeing this first episode of season 18, I'm like, I don't even know why I bothered watching the last season, because I feel like all the points are moot. I don't even know why I spent all the time rewatching the last season, and we'll get into why in a second. But yeah, honestly pretty boring season, and there was only like 16 episodes, so obviously it wasn't that much interesting stuff going on because they didn't even have that many episodes to begin with. So, but before we get into it, if you haven't seen my first half of my recap, go watch that first. The first episodes of Housewives tend to be like a lot of fluff, so I try to pull what I can out of the first episode that I think will be like main storylines. I feel like obviously Shannon is going to be a big storyline this season because of John Jansen and Alexis, and because of her DUI, so those are obviously going to be big talking points. I don't know how to feel about the season yet. I'm hoping it's going to be good, but I cannot take, last season was all about just like rumors about so-and-so's boyfriend, rumors about so-and-so's husband, like doing this and that, and it's like, I am so tired of every Housewives franchise just being about men cheating. I'm not here to watch about your husbands. I'm here to watch about you. So that's what I think makes the OG cast of like Real Housewives of New York the most interesting. Because by the time they all got divorced, it's like, well, you can't talk about so-and-so's husband or boyfriend or whatever because they don't have any. So, and like they actually had to make it interesting on their own, and not just rely on their boyfriends and these rumors and stuff to like make their show interesting. I'm not watching for the boyfriends, I'm watching for you. So the John Jansen thing at least makes sense because it does, I feel like, lead into Shannon's DUI. So before I get too into it, let's start from the beginning. So first of all, I didn't know this when I was originally watching this episode because I hadn't finished last season, but I did not realize, I knew Heather Dubrow sold her house that she spent years longer, probably she spent longer building the damn house than she spent living in it. She sold her big ass house wherever it was, I don't even know, on the side of that cliff for like $55 million, which is insane. And now she's living in Beverly Hills, which I am like, okay, so Orange County and Beverly Hills has gotten like, that terminology of the Real Housewives of whatever has gotten real loose because now Heather Dubrow is living in Beverly Hills. I'm like, okay, so I guess you could just live wherever now. I mean, I don't know. I know it's not that far, but you have a franchise called Beverly Hills and you have a franchise called Orange County, and yet your Orange County people are living in Beverly Hills. Make it make sense. I know they can't tell her where to live, but I'm like, why is she living in Beverly Hills? Next, I said I'm also confused why Gina can't stay with Travis, basically breaking up. They're kind of alluding to this like breakup thing, and I know Gina was saying his ex-wife is making it hell for him to get divorced and stuff like that, but I'm confused as to why you guys can't, like, she's making it seem like they have to break up temporarily to like, or for forever because of this situation. I mean, even though Gina seems to want to stay with Travis, but she's thinking she should break up with him, I'm a little confused. Obviously this is going to be part of her storyline, I would assume. I just don't really understand like what, I'm a little confused. If somebody could explain to me what's going on. I don't understand like why they need to break up. I understand like maybe not living together because that might not look good going through the divorce in court and stuff like that. maybe that doesn't look good for him. And I also don't know, I don't know if he has kids or not. I'm not sure. They never really talk about his kids, so if he does have kids. So that could also be a factor. I'm not really sure, but yeah, I'm a little confused on that whole thing with Travis right now. So not really sure what's going on with that. Going into Jen now, which I'm glad she's coming back for another season. I'm glad they're just sticking with somebody. Just stick with somebody and try to make it work. I can't relearn a new person every season. It's been like 4 or 5 seasons now where we've just had like a new random cast member on each season, and I'm just tired of learning somebody new. So I'm glad Jen is staying now. I wrote down, I don't understand how Jen is affording life, which I don't understand. I understand her husband is working with her family and she owns a yoga studio, but like, I don't understand how a yoga studio and whatever his job is in Oklahoma is affording her life in California, which is very different than Oklahoma. She's being evicted because he's only paying part of the rent. I know she's on the show, but I doubt she's making as much as some of the other ladies who have been on for a lot longer than her. So I really don't understand how she's affording, like, she has like 7 kids or something insane, and like is affording rent in these houses in Orange County. Don't understand that. I don't know. To be determined. Also, I felt like Heather was trying to include or trying to pretend like she was including Alexis because she said her mom died or something like that. I was like, let's not lie and pretend that Alexis is not coming back because of the John situation, because of the John and Shannon situation. I mean, let's not lie to ourselves. I don't know why we're like, she's my friend, she needs friends. You know, you're bringing her in to stir the pot. I thought it was interesting because, side note, Alexis and Emily had some issues because of something Emily said at one point. And I don't remember exactly what was said, but then, and they kind of had an issue at the restaurant, and then they show up to Heather's party together. I was a little confused by that. I'm like, so now they're buddy going to Heather's party? Like, I don't understand how that happened, that transition of friendship, but okay. Also, I thought it was so funny that Alexis was like, I've been going to the Quiet Woman longer than Shannon. Like, I met John at the Quiet Woman, blah, blah, blah. Like, Shannon doesn't own the Quiet Woman. I'm like, but Shannon, like, literally put the Quiet Woman on the map. Like, we wouldn't know, we wouldn't care about the Quiet Woman, I feel like, if it weren't for Shannon Bedore. I just thought that was so funny. I was like, sure, she doesn't own it, but, and it doesn't mean you can't go there, it doesn't mean you can't mention it, but it's pretty shady that you met and flirted with her boyfriend, her ex-boyfriend, at the place that, like, is iconically, like, I mean, this isn't my plate. Like, her throwing the plate at the Quiet Woman, like, it's Shannon Bedore's place. Like, it's her honorary place of business. So, also, at this point, it sounds like Alexis and John have only been dating for a few weeks, which is, like, it's insane how Alexis is like, we're in love, we're gonna get married, all this stuff. And it's like, you've been dating for weeks. And Shannon also, like, her ex-boyfriend, and she just, like, got into a DUI and stuff. Like, I'm not saying he has to, like, well, technically he is kind of implicated in it, I guess, to an extent. Not that it's his fault, but, like, he is a part of the story of the DUI because Shannon said she was at his house that night and was angry and left drunk from his house. So unless he was, like, super smashed and, like, didn't understand, I guess, what was happening maybe, but, like, he let her also, like, leave drunk and drive. So he's kind of implicated in the story in a way. So it is pretty shady that, like, you've been dating for a few weeks, he's implicated in this whole DUI situation, and then you're like, I love him, I'm gonna marry him, like, screw you, like, I'm glad he left your ass, like, okay, pump the brakes, Alexis. I'm already, like, I don't know how to feel about Alexis at this point. We'll see. Anyway, so we'll get back to the Alexis situation, but I'm gonna move on. I'm going in chronological order, too, of what happened in the episode, so we will come back to Alexis later. But I want to talk about Tamara's tattoo of her. She did like 111, I guess. She got a tattoo with her daughter, Sydney, I think her name is, or maybe that's the one that won't talk to her. I don't know. I have such a hard time feeling any type of genuine feelings for Tamara. Granted, yes, she makes good TV, but I don't like, honestly, when she talks about her children or just like personal things like that, because to me, it just doesn't come across as like very genuine. Maybe she is sad that like her daughter won't talk to her, but at the same time, like it feels so put on and so dramatic on camera to the point where, I don't know, if I were her daughter and I saw that, I'd be like, this just feels really fake and phony. Like it just doesn't feel genuine. It doesn't feel real. Not saying she can't talk about, obviously they're there to talk about their personal lives and stuff like that, but it feels a little bit much. Like every time she talks about it, I'm like, okay. Like, I don't know. I just don't really I don't know how to describe it. I saw other people saying too, like, it just didn't feel genuine and it felt weird. And so I'm glad I'm not alone in that. I don't want to seem mean because I'm sure it's hard to like be a parent and not talk to your kid, but it just feels really phony. I don't know how to describe it. It feels a little icky. It feels fake to me. Moving on to they're getting all ready for the party. I just have to say, this is my number one pet peeve, I think, with every Real Housewives franchise at this point. I don't want to see glam squads. I'm so over it. I'm so tired of glam squads. I don't want to see it. I just don't like it. You know what I like? I like when like they're all doing glam squads on Beverly Hills, and then you see Kyle like sitting at her little vanity doing her makeup by herself. I know Kyle probably has a glam squad. I know that. But I like seeing her just by herself at her little vanity in her bathroom doing her makeup. Like, I like that. I don't like these like glam squads where they bring their ring light and they're taking photos and stuff like that. I don't like it. It's just like, it feels like it's worse to me than breaking the fourth wall and saying like, we're on a TV show or something like that, or bravo, bravo, bravo. I would much rather have that form of fourth wall being broken than like the glam squad. To me is the earth-shattering fourth wall being broken. I mean, worse than anything to me is cardinal sin number one of like fourth wall being broken. It's worse than saying bravo or Andy or whatever. Like, so much worse. I hate it. I'm so tired of seeing the glam squads on TV. I hate it. It's just, to me, it's just like a parent, like, we're on a TV show, we're getting glammed up to go film the scene and whatever. It feels like it, and I understand why people would see that and then think, oh, but this show is scripted or whatever. They're getting ready. They're getting glammed up to go film a scene. That feels fake. It feels phony. I don't like it. It has to stop. Make it end. It's my number one pet peeve. And then going into the party, everybody's heading to the party, or Heather Dubrow's party. Katie is introduced as the new cast member of the season. I already am getting, especially since she's friends with like Sutton and stuff, she's already giving me somebody who should definitely be on Beverly Hills. I mean, we'll see. Hopefully she's a good fit with the cast. She's definitely giving me vibes that she should be on Beverly Hills and not Orange County. So that's my 2 cents right now. Granted, we haven't heard a lot from her, so I don't know what to feel or think, but that's my initial thoughts. I thought it was so funny the last season with Emily kind of making fun of Heather Dubrow's event, and then like her getting mad about it. It's just like funny because and then Gina saying you have to be ready to like work when you go to a Heather Dubrow party because there's like stations and you got to do this. And I just think that's so funny. And it's so like, Heather takes it in a negative way, but I'm like, I think it's so funny because it's just Heather. It's just inherently Heather. She's going to try to make everything like prim and proper and perfect and have little stations and things to do. And, you know, like she's thinking of every detail, which is great. And I love that for like party planning, but she also, it's like too much. She needs to like tone it down like a few notches. Now having finished last season and understanding why Gina was mad at Shannon, it was so interesting because like I said, I just finished it last night. I was just watching the reunions last night, and Gina's like swearing up and down, like, I don't even know if I'm going to return to the show because of what she said about, Shannon said a comment about Gina's kids getting taken away by CPS. And Gina was just like, I don't want anything to do with her. Like, she's, don't bring my kids into this. And like, they were never at risk of getting taken away. That's like really detrimental. But now it's like immediate, like Shannon just wants to wipe it clean and just immediately is like, I'm sorry. Okay, where's Alexis? And Gina just like also moves on, which I hope she does not drop that, because to me, those allegations or whatever, or those comments of like CPS taking your child away is almost on par with what Bronwyn did to Shannon's children with like offering them drugs and like giving them inappropriate things and whatever. It's just like, you're doing the same thing that Bronwyn did to your children. You're being inappropriate about her children. It's like very on par. You should be relating to this level of like disrespect to your children. I mean, I'm sorry, but I hope Gina doesn't drop that, but I don't know. We'll see. It sounds like Gina's like over it and knows that this season is not going to have anything to do with that. And then we finally get to Shannon confronting Alexis. First off, it was super awkward. I hate when people do this. They just like go up to somebody in a group who is in a group and that's just like, can I talk to you or whatever? And that person is clearly trying to like, Alexis was so trying to like avoid looking at Shannon. But I did think it was cute when they went outside and pulled the table over together. Like they were like, oh, let me help you. And like they helped each other move the table over into the shade. That was funny. Also, Shannon is trying to make it all out to be like this whole fight or her gripe with Alexis has all to do with this lawsuit that happened years ago at this point. I'm assuming it's settled. I'm not really sure. I don't know all the details. I remember when it was brought up originally, but like I'm assuming it's a done deal by this point. What is the point of bringing this up? Like her and her husband, her ex-husband Jim, are like not even together anymore. I don't really understand what the point of bringing this up is. Like she was also talking about like I lost $300,000 or whatever, something like that. It's like, well, what do you want Alexis to do about it? Let's not pretend that this has anything to do with the lawsuit. Even if it is, I don't really understand, like, what's your point of bringing this up to her? Like, what is she gonna do? Pay you back? Like, is that what you want? I don't understand what the goal and like, she's like, well, we don't need to be best buddies or whatever. We don't need to be best friends. It's like, I don't think that was ever on the table at this point, but I think it has more to do with her dating John that you're not going to be friends than anything else, because obviously like that is still a new raw thing that is currently like having a ripple effect in your life currently than like this lawsuit that happened years ago that I don't think probably you even think about ever, but you're trying to make it about that when it's like, no, it definitely has to do with this raw situation that's just happening just now, a few weeks ago. Do you remember? It's like, just happened. I don't really fully understand. I hope we're not just going to continue on this delusion that this has anything to do with the lawsuit. Like, what do you want her to do? It has nothing to, even if she was involved in it, wasn't involved in it, like, what do you want her to do? I don't understand the point of it. It just seems like pointless to bring that up. And it doesn't seem like Tamra has an issue with it either, so I don't like, obviously Tamra and her are friends. Tamra and Alexis are friends at this point, so who cares? I think she's trying to paint Alexis out to be a bad person, but I don't know. It's dumb. It's like, who cares? Move on. That's not why you're upset. We all know why you're upset. We get it. Well, that was all of my notes from this episode. Let me know what you thought. First episode, like I said, usually is a lot of fluff. There was some stuff to comment on, but obviously most of it is going to be about Alexis and Shannon at this point. I also didn't realize Alexis was not a full-time cast member. I thought she was a full-time cast member, and also Alexis posted a photo of her photoshopped into the main cast photo shoot, which I thought was hilarious. Let me know what you guys thought of the first episode. Hopefully this season is a lot better than the last one because I can't take another boring ass season. Let me know if you want to keep doing these recaps. I think it's kind of fun. I love Housewives, so I'm always down to talk about some Housewives and Bravo in general. So I'm gonna try to wrap it up because there's a fly flying in my face right now. Okay, so thank you for watching the second half of my recap. Please like and subscribe, and thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next week. Bye.